The VP's daughter on the very first day used the dress code as an excuse to publicly humiliate me and fired me from the job, but shortly after an $8 billion investor arrived and upon seeing me, revealed such a truth that it shook everyone to their core. My name is Nadine Whitfield and I am 34 years old. I was a forensic accountant at a fintech company in the River North area of Chicago, Illinois. That day still sits inside my body like someone poured ice into my chest. At 9:14 a.m. I was sitting at my desk. I had a file in my hands containing 18 months of transaction data, $2,480,000 in suspicious account movements, $620,400 in unexplained transfers, and those $47,300 adjustments that don't exist in any real system. My fingers were still on that paper when suddenly the elevator doors opened. Braille Harrington walked in. VP's daughter. That same perfume, expensive, sharp like someone mixed vanilla and alcohol. Her heels echoed on the wooden floor like a decision being made. She looked me up and down, paused on my navy blue dress and smiled. "Dress code violation," she said loudly. "This isn't a party, Nadine." There were 3 people in the room. All of them lowered their heads. The only sound I could hear was the soft hum of the air conditioner and my own heartbeat echoing in my teeth. I quietly said, "This is professional attire." She laughed, a small but cutting laugh. "You've always been the problem. You think you're important because you can read numbers." He threw my file back on my desk. Papers scattered. One page fell down and got stained with coffee. Then without even looking at me she said, "You're terminated. Effective immediately." My mouth went dry. My hands went numb. And she said the last line like she had rehearsed it before coming here. "In this company, girls like you are replaceable." She turned and walked away. The only thing left in the room was the smell of paper, old carpet, and the weight of my breath. And I only remembered one thing. Inside my file were numbers worth $8,300,000 that nobody had even properly looked at yet. I stood there. No one said anything. As if I was already invisible. I closed my eyes and something inside me broke. Before I move forward, pause for a moment and like and subscribe, only if this story truly touches your heart. Comment where you are listening from and what time it is there. I read every comment. Now take me back 6 months earlier, to the morning when I first noticed that pattern. 6 months earlier I had noticed a small irregularity in the company accounts. $42,380 going every month to a vendor that didn't even exist. I thought maybe it was a glitch. Then came a $147,000 consulting fee, then a $230,400 loan adjustment. I made a report. My boss said, "Nadine, you overthink. This is fintech, not FBI auditing." I laughed, but inside I felt doubt for the first time. I am a forensic accountant. I read the lies hidden behind numbers. And this lie was looking at me every day in the office, in the form of Braille Harrington. He often told me, "You're only here because HR needed diversity." Once on my birthday when I blew out 29 candles, she said in front of everyone, "Let's not make it emotional. We have deadlines." And everyone laughed. That cake stayed in the fridge for 3 days, then was thrown away. I worked 96 continuous days of overtime without a single complaint. My team detected $1,200,000 in fraud, credit for which Braille took in her presentation. And I said nothing, because I believed silence was professional. One night at 2:47 a.m. I received an email. The subject line was, "Stop looking at account 77B. No name. But the attachment was an encrypted ledger. It showed a $620,000 trust transfer, and signatures of VP Harrington. My heart started beating fast. Then at 11:06 p.m. my phone rang. "Miss Whitlock? This is Estelle Carmichael, retired CFO. You don't know me, but I know your work." Her voice was tired but strong. She said, "What you're looking at is not a mistake. It is theft. And your file is the key that will open everything." I stayed silent. Then she said one more line. "But if you proceed, they will destroy you first." The call ended. I looked out the window. Chicago lights were blurry. The air was cold and in my hand was that same $42,380 pattern. Could I really fight this? That question entered deeper than ever before. I worked silently for the next 3 weeks. Saved every email. Traced every transaction. kept every backup copy in my personal encrypted drive. I told no one. Not even my sister. During the day I was the same Nadine. Quiet, polite, invisible. And at night I was becoming someone completely different. The light in my apartment often stayed on until 6:14 a.m. Coffee went cold. My hands had typing marks. I rebuilt 17 years of data. Braille Harrington had no idea what I was doing. She would smile at me. "Still here," she often said. I would nod. And she would think I was breaking. Pause. Before going further, tell me, have you ever experienced a moment where your own family made you feel small in front of everyone? Comment it. And if you want to know what happened the next morning when Braille Harrington walked into the boardroom, stay with me. Press like so I know you're still here. That day the company held a private investor meeting. An $8 billion investor had arrived, Elliot Mercer. He sat in the boardroom. Black suit, no expression. Braille Harrington gave the presentation. "Everything is under control," she said. She showed $2,400,000 growth numbers. Everyone clapped. I was sitting in the back. Silent. People thought I had given up. Then the moment came. Elliot Mercer stood up. "Before we continue, I want to address something." Silence in the room. He looked at me. "Miss Whitlock, would you please come forward?" My heart stopped. I stood up. He said, "This company has been moving $8,300,000 through fake vendor accounts. $620,400 monthly laundering pattern. $230,400 misclassified debt. And every single signature traces back to VP Harrington's office." Braille's face changed. For the first time. I opened the file. My hands were not shaking. "Account 77B, I said. "Created at 9:14 a.m. Same time as termination email draft." Someone coughed. Then silence. Then whispers. Elliot placed a USB drive. Every email. Every signature. Every approval. Verified. Braille stood up. "This is all a lie." But her voice was not the same anymore. Elliot said the final line. "You fired the only person who could read your own crimes." And then it happened. VP Harrington's hand trembled on the table. His signature appeared on the screen. $2,480,000 transfer approval. The same one he called a routine adjustment. Braille looked at her father. For the first time she was not a powerful girl. Just a human who realized she was standing in the wrong place. In the next 48 hours everything changed. VP Harrington was suspended. $8.3 million frozen. Braille received a termination notice. Same words she had said to me. 3 senior executives resigned. Me. I was standing there. Silent. 2 weeks later I bought a small house outside Chicago. 480 square feet. A small garden. I planted things for the first time. At 6:14 a.m. I now make coffee, but it is no longer cold. One day a letter arrived from Estelle Carmichael. "You did what I could not do in 20 years. I placed the letter on the table and looked outside. The air was light. Leaves were moving. The same old file was in my hand, but now it was not just paper. It was evidence of my life. I finally breathed in peace. And I understood, sometimes justice does not come screaming. It simply stands there as truth. Thank you for staying until the end. I want to say this from my heart. If this story touched you, press like and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any story. Comment and tell me, have you ever set boundaries with your family? What was your experience? I read every comment. And there is another story in the description that I think you should definitely listen to. Until the next story, take care of yourself. You deserve it.